One of the American passengers from that hantavirus-stricken cruise ship tells the New York Times she's been being held in quarantine in Omaha against her will. Jacqueline Fernandez joins me live from the Alert Desk with more. Jacqueline.
Yeah, Dave, right now 18 passengers from the MV Hondias cruise ship are being monitored in the National Quarantine Unit at UNMC. The New York Times reports that one of them, Angela Perryman, was planning to leave quarantine, but then yesterday received a federal order requiring her to stay for 2 more weeks. That's until May 31st. The Times quotes Perryman as saying, quote, "They are requiring us to remain in a locked facility and threatening us and denying us the right to home quarantine," end quote. According to that Times report, health officials said they would contact law enforcement if Perryman tried to leave. Perryman told the paper at least one other passenger received a similar order. Now, we reached out to the CDC for comment. They did confirm that all 18 of the passengers from the cruise ship were asked to remain at the Nebraska quarantine facility through May 31st. The CDC says Acting Director Jay Bhattacharya did sign quarantine orders for 2 of the passengers under the Public Health Service Act. The agency pointed to parts 70 and 71 of the Code of Federal Regulations, which includes a section on circumstances allowing the apprehension and detention of people with quarantinable diseases. Last week, when the passengers arrived here in Omaha, CDC officials said they might be able to continue their quarantines at home depending on how they're doing. In the latest update from the CDC, there are no known positive cases of hantavirus in the U.S. linked to the cruise ship outbreak, including among those in quarantine. Dave.
That's a story we'll continue to follow closely. Jacqueline Fernandez live in studio. Jacqueline, thank you.